And welcome inside to another edition of Clutch Up. I am your host, Donny Travis, and we're going to just jump right into it. And the first thing I have is a little bit of very bitter, but very bitter news. But there is some sweet on the side of it, so it's bittersweet. Serena Williams, she played in for now her final tennis match, losing to Alja Tom. I know I'm gonna have problems with it, but she's Australian. Ija Tomjanovic. 2 sets to one. She lost 7-5, 6-7 to 6-1. Like I said, this is Serena's final game for now. She is saying goodbye, but she's not retiring just yet. Serena Williams is a very decorated tennis player, winning 23 Grand Slams in her singles competition, which is the most by any player in the Open era, and is the second most all time, only behind Margaret Court of 24, which is very close. And I think that's why she doesn't want to use the word retired yet. She keeps referring to it as the R word. But so who knows? She might come back and break that record and then go off into the sunset. She also has a career record, a fascinating career record of 858 and 154, which is over 80% win percentage, excuse me. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how she moves forward. She has been on record stating that she wants to start a family and live peaceful and happy in that regard. So we're definitely going to give her our best wishes and hope to see her back on the tennis court soon. Also in tennis U.S. Open news, Coco Gauff, the young standout superstar, lost in the quarterfinal to Caroline Garcia in straight sets, losing 6-3, 6-4. So it's very unfortunate. I wanted to see Coco Gauff and Serena go against each other in this tournament. Their bracket was set up to where it could have been a potential matchup tomorrow had both of them stayed on the winning course, but some things just don't plan out. But we will definitely see both of them in the future doing positive things. But we do have one standout from the U.S. Open right now, and that is a man who is a Hyattsville, Maryland native, and he goes by the name Francis Tiafoe, who upsetted second-ranked overall Rafael Nadal in 3 sets to 1, 6-4, 4-6, 6-4, 6-3. Post In a post-game interview, he gave credit for his inspiration while wearing a Serena Williams greatest of all time GOAT hoodie, nonetheless, to Serena Williams for giving her or being his inspiration, to wanting to have him go further and do anything he can set his mind to. His next match is a quarterfinal matchup that actually is about to take place here very shortly against Andrei Rublev, and you can catch that game on ESPN right now. Moving right along, we are headed into the NFL. The NFL season is finally here. Right now, we will not have a Sunday without football until February of 2023. You love to see it. And our first NFL game will kick off tomorrow between the Buffalo Bills at the Los Angeles Rams. You can catch that game tomorrow night on NBC at 8:20 p.m. promptly. The Rams are looking to repeat as Super Bowl champions, while the Buffalo Bills were knocked out of the playoffs last year and looking to come back with some type of a vengeance and make a statement this game. This is the week one for everybody. Everybody has a clean slate, so we're going to see what all teams can stand out and who's going to make the biggest impact. But I can tell you one person that will not be making an impact, specifically for the Ravens, is the Ravens mascot Poe, who will not be on the sidelines for the Baltimore Ravens this season, as he sustained what Coach John Harbaugh called a drumstick injury. I don't know what to really make of this as a mascot injury, but Poe was partaking in a halftime game against the youth football team in the preseason finale that the Ravens had versus the Washington Commanders, and he actually had to be carted off the field as he was injured. So it's very interesting to see that. Like I said, he is expected to miss this season, and the Ravens are in talks and looking for another mascot. So if you're in the area, who knows? You might be the next Ravens mascot. Speaking on the Ravens and staying in that, one thing I do want to talk about before this season starts is the quarterback at the helm, Lamar Jackson, a very high standout quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens. As of right now, he is still a Baltimore Raven, but he's looking to extend his contract. He's currently in the final year of his rookie contract, and going into this week, it's worth just over $26 million, but he wanted to get a contract extension before this season actually started. He said if the contract negotiations were to look like they would exceed past the week 1 of the NFL season, he would halt them. And this is the interesting thing because Lamar Jackson is actually negotiating for himself. He doesn't really have an agent making all the decisions or negotiating for him. He knows what he's worth, and that's what a lot of these players actually are doing now. They are knowing their worth and they're negotiating for their worth and adding tax. The interesting thing about this topic is Lamar Jackson already is a standout quarterback. He already has an MVP under his belt. And you have these other quarterbacks such as Deshaun Watson for the Cleveland Browns. He has $230 million already guaranteed on his contract. You have a quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray, who has going to receive on average an annual salary of over $46 million. Now, as I said before, Lamar Jackson's current contract is only worth $26 million this year. There was a player option this season for this last year's contract, but it looks like if they can't get to some type of agreement before the season starts, which actually starts tomorrow, so it looks like these contract negotiations are going to halt until the end of the season. He looks like they're going to play this season out, see how he plays and what the team needs, and really take everything from there. I personally do not see Lamar in any jersey other than a Baltimore Ravens one, but who knows? Anything is subject to happen over the next 6 months or so. The Ravens' first game is going to be at the New York Jets, September 11th, this Sunday at 1 p.m., and you can catch that game on CBS, so be sure to check your local listings for that. Moving right along as we move on to the baseball side of everything now, we are in the final home stretch of the MLB regular season. Your Baltimore Orioles are only 3.5 games back of wild card position. This is that time where all teams are jockeying for position, trying to get into the division race, into the wild card race. This is where playoff runs really start. And so you can expect a lot of things to happen, a lot of different teams to try and jockey for position. As I said, the Baltimore Orioles are only 3.5 games back of the wild card position, which is only one team down from the current standings. So there is very much so a very high potential of the Baltimore Orioles making the playoffs this season. What they do in it is anybody's guess, but they can say they made it nonetheless. Also, in other MLB news, I remember I talked to you about Aaron Judge chasing history. He's still chasing history as he currently has 54 home runs on the season, and he's chasing that MLB record. I don't believe he's going to get the MLB record because that was set by Barry Bonds all the way back in 2001, but with 73 home runs. There's no telling if anybody ever comes close to that anytime soon. But he is eligible, or he is within reach of that American League record of 61, who was also set by a New York Yankee with 61. Goes by the name Roger Maris, and that was set all the way back in 1961. So like I said, Aaron Judge, he has potential to break a record here and etch his name in not just Yankees history, but MLB history. So we will definitely keep you posted on that as more comes from it. Moving right along, we are also going to have to say farewell to another legend in the sports realm, specifically a WNBA legend. Sue Bird played her final game in the WNBA. Sue Bird was the number 1 overall pick in 2022, a 4-time WNBA champion, a 13-time WNBA All-Star, and she was also voted 2021's USA Basketball Female Athlete of the Year. Sprinkle in 5-time Olympic gold medalist, a 2-time NCAA champion. Her list of accomplishments goes on, and it is a miraculous 20-year career that she has to retire from now, as her and her Seattle Storm lost in a conference final game versus the Las Vegas Aces. That was to advance to the WNBA Finals. That score was the Las Vegas Aces 97, the Seattle Storm 92. The Aces took that series 3-1, and they are actually going to be playing the winner of an upcoming matchup between the Chicago Sky and the Connecticut Sun. That series is currently tied 2-2, and it is a win or go home situation for both teams. And you can catch that game tomorrow, September 8th at 8 p.m., and that game is going to be on ESPN. So you have your choice. You can watch WNBA basketball and who's going to play the Las Vegas Aces in the WNBA championship, or you can watch the NFL get kicked off with the Bills and Rams. So it's really your choice for this upcoming for tomorrow. And we're going to really talk about one thing that I really was looking forward to this past weekend, and that is Jackson State versus FAMU. And this game, I need to take a drink of water because I'm about to go in for this game. Jackson State won this game, the Orange Blossom Classic, by a score of 59-3. Jackson State 59, FAMU 3. Now, I want to make a quick point here. FAMU still does not have all their players eligible just yet. They did get a couple of them back, but not enough to make the impact that I think they were looking for in a game of this magnitude. Shedeur Sanders, the son of head coach Deion Sanders, actually went off this game. He threw for 29, completed 29 of 33 passes for 323 yards, 5 touchdowns. He had more touchdown passes than incompletions this game. And Jackson State, I can tell you, they are looking to avenge the loss that they had last year in the 2021 Celebration Bowl to South Carolina State. That was by a score of 31-10. And I think Jackson State put not just the SWAC on notice, the Southwestern Athletic Conference on notice, but they also put all of HBCU football on notice, letting them know that Jackson State and Coach Prime and his unit, his arsenal, are here to stay. And it's very interesting to see how these upcoming weeks and everything plays out leading up to this year's Celebration Bowl. Also going looking at other SWAC and HBCU scores. Give you a quick HBCU rundown. Arkansas Pine Bluff defeated Lane College by a score of 48-42. Southern University beat Florida Memorial by a score of 86-0. Whew. Prairie View defeated Texas Southern 40-23. Stephen F. Austin beat Alcorn State by a score of 31-27. Alabama State defeated Miles College 21-13. University of Miami defeated Bethune-Cookman by a score of 70-13. And Arkansas State defeated Grambling by a score of 58-3. Also, the University of Alabama Birmingham defeated Alabama A&M by a score of 59-0. Onto the MEAC side of everything, North Carolina Central defeated North Carolina A&T by a score of 28-13. In the battle of the HUs, Hampton came out victorious, defeating Howard by a score of 31-28. Georgia Southern defeated Morgan State by a score of 59-7. Marshall defeated Norfolk State by a score of 55-3. Delaware State defeated Lincoln 34-0. UCF defeated South Carolina State by a score of 56-10. All these HBCU teams are very motivated and ready to go and show that they have something to prove this season. So I can't wait to see more come as the season goes on. And the final thing I'm going to leave you with for this edition of Clutch Up is on this day, James Corbett knocked out a 4-1 favorite and defending champion John L. Sullivan in 21 rounds of boxing at the Olympic Club in New Orleans, Louisiana for the World Heavyweight Championship boxing title. That served to be John Sullivan's only defeat, and it also served to be his last fight. I don't know about you, but I, as a boxing enthusiast myself, I am not standing around or fighting anyone for 21 rounds of boxing. There's a reason they reduced boxing championship fights down to 12 rounds. But that is all I have for you all today. Be sure to check back as we are ever growing and ever evolving at this time. And if who knows, there's going to be some more things. I see what you said, Aria. Yes, the Jackson State Tigers. We have to be sure to make that known. She's referring to the Jackson State Tigers. They did what had to be done, and definitely going to see what Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, can do with the rest of his team and rest of this conference moving forward. Because, like I said, he put the SWAC and HBCU football on notice, but everybody else is going to be gunning for him. So who knows? Be sure to check back with us next week for Clutch Up. Until then, I've been your host, Donny Travis. Clutch Up.